What is going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney 2. When we left off, we were joining Sherlock and Watson for an amazing Theater of Logic and Reason.
It was.
And we were able to get the man himself, the man of the hour, Jigoku. And we were trying to bring him back into the courtrooms, and then we surprised everyone by saying, hey,
business is definitely
they're
going
coming
on.
back. And so now they've called the court for, I think it's for the whole day they've called the court. Because they did a recess first. It was like, you're fucked. And it's like, no, we're not. And like, God damn it. So the unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom.
Surprised the voice isn't saying this like before.
But outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, at a little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Holmes and his partner returned to Baker Street.
Whoa.
There's a feast going on here.
Yeah, there is.
Good golly gosh. Is this all Iris is doing?
How?
We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help. Think nothing of it. I believe you've had an even more wearing day than Mikitoba and I know. You could say that. We were in the brink of defeat in court earlier.
Yeah.
This prosecutor, Sogi, had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's changed.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
I mean, it's incredible. I think that he'd even entertain the idea of acting as the Reaper's assassin. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. When all this started, almost a year ago now. Mr. Holmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then.
Yeah.
But the motivation for it he himself described as a great detective's lie. Now then, I must say, it's really quite a journey all the way to France.
Well, it is another country, Mr. Holmes. So, what news of Judge Jigoku?
We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for the man. Poor Professor Mikitoba. This must be quite a shock for him. Ah, yes. Picked this up at the telegraph office on the way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday.
Yeah.
You put upon me, Holmes. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well.
Oh, you've had a reply already?
What was so urgent, though, Mr. Holmes? Such matters can only wait until later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present.
Well, that's good news because supper's ready, everyone.
And you did all this, girl. And what a feast it is. If I were none the wiser, I'd think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak, and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding.
Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up.
Don't remind me. In that case, I think I'll seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only one set with a helping of pheasant as well.
I'm sorry, Holmesy, not there.
Why ever not? Where are we setting place this evening?
Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy.
For me?
That's right, I made it specially for you, Professor Mickey.
I see. That's terribly kind of you. Is it because I'm your father? I mean,
It's a shame, really.
what do you mean?
Well, for a brief moment, I believed it. That Susie and I were half-sisters, I mean.
Huh?
Oh!
Believed it, so that's not the case?
Iris, do you mean...
Huh.
Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. Secretly listened into the conversation you had after I tricked you all into thinking I left.
Oh boy. What? What?
Ooh.
The misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikitoba are Iris' father.
Oh.
Oh. So who the fuck is it?
Yeah.
Yes, about that, Iris. You know, I
know. You can't tell me at the moment. Oh, Iris.
It's actually me. I am your father.
The pheasant is by way of an apology. Sorry for eavesdropping.
Oh. No, that's quite all right. Then why don't I get an apologetic pheasant?
Apologetic pheasant.
So just who is Iris's father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out today. So then let us dine, while our largely pheasant-less plates are still piping hot.
You're still being salty about that.
A fine idea, Holmes. It all looks absolutely delicious.
He's so hurt that he doesn't have any pheasant.
He is.
Eat as much as you like. There's always seconds. Except for pheasant.
This could be our last chance to ask questions for tomorrow's trial.
For some reason, I thought you said this could be our last meal.
That's where I thought it was going. I was like, this could be our last dinner together. But though that could also be the case too, because Megatoba wants us to go home.
Shh. No, it's
That
not
telegram
allowed.
from
We have to
Japan
all live here happily ever after.
About Kazuma. Can't let opportunity slip away.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
You good? You just vibing?
All I can do is examine, huh? Can I examine around everything? I suppose I can. I don't know how much.
Don't put your
but
feet on the sofa, sir.
It's mine. I can do what I want. All right. What happens if I want to see if some of this is like new or old stuff. Let me remember this behemoth's name. The Great Analytoscope.
I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it?
Yeah. So this is the same
it
as
was
it was
pawned
before.
off,
Oh, is that
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was a pawnbroker.
Oh, of course.
It's gonna be a wonderful idea.
Like
I
a
can
pawn
pawn
off
everything on your desk.
It's like,
Yep.
don't joke about that. It's not.
Violet.
Okay.
But yeah,
But
he's
first,
just
the dinner table.
the din-din.
Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak, and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. It all looks mouth-wateringly good.
Oh, Jesus, hi.
Indeed it does. And if it were accompanied by even a morsel of pheasant,
Oh my god.
it would be perfection.
Will you calm
Iris.
down?
You're still on that?
Oh, it really does look a feast for celebrating a victory in court.
Or indeed, for drowning one's sorrows after defeat.
Oh my god. I hope you weren't referring to the trial tomorrow, Mr. Holmes.
No, it's me not getting pheasant. I'm still in mourning over the pheasant at the moment.
He must
Well.
really like pheasant, apparently.
Man. Iris isn't over there, so I'm not used to... Oh, it's so weird to have the corners with no light coming through the
Yeah.
windows. Because it's dark for once.
Yep, it's nighttime.
Cool. Alright, anyways. Sherlock. Hey, buddy.
He's glaring at
Mr.
the,
Holmes?
at the food.
What are you doing?
He's just moping.
Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Megatoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, if the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes.
Oh my god.
Huh.
Sorry, Holmesy, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy.
Even though I've played the role of father to you for far longer. Mr. Holmes? Can I discuss some things with you?
He's like, do you have pheasant?
Certainly, my dear fellow.
What?
I found myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation.
Huh?
You get my mind off the pheasant.
What?
No doubt you're hungry to learn more about my deep love for game. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one.
God. You gonna complain about not having duck next?
You needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss. Oh boy, I'm
All the
starting to get into
music.
serious music here. So number one, a telegram from Japan. What did you send over there? So what was on the telegram you received back from Japan then? Ah, this. I think my lucky stars had arrived in time.
I love this song.
Record founders indicated. Duplicate follows. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. What? Those four names. We've come across the exact same list
Yeah.
before. Okay, we're gonna get the original list? They came up in that unforgettable case last spring.
I remember.
Poor buddy.
Yeah.
Appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be a masking monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states, and exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked. We discovered a fragment of a message.
He did not deserve that.
K. Sogi, Ah Shen, T. Gregson,
That's A.
A. Shen, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. I'm
Were you gonna say Asogi?
But we didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, I forgot about the whole information leak thing by being the big part of that whole situation.
What do you mean?
Everything that was going on before was secret government information was being sold to Japan, essentially, which has me believe that would probably be something that would be going between Strongheart and Jigoku, since those two are definitely fucking evil.
Yeah.
So the question is, what then is the goal of the 4 names on there? Were they... so why are the names coming up again now?
Because 3 of them are dead. And one of them was believed to be dead. Yes, where did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Holmes?
I have here the message that I wired yesterday. Let me read it for you. Enter Judge Jigoku's office and detected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communications from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. Send to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of his nature.
You asked Inspector Hosonaga to undertake such an onerous task for you?
I love that it's the sprite of him with the fucking turtle on his head.
And the swimsuit. Why?
And the swimsuit. That's amazing. I'll assume they just literally reused the court record picture, just bigger for him in the trial, because it's the perfect size for it. So they just reused it so it has him in the turtle. That's funny. Oh gosh. And in my name, that part too. I wonder what guys he opted for this time. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand? Anyway, the list of names was found in Shishiro's office, as Holmes predicted. So you mean a mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was...
Huh. It was sent to Judge Jigoku. He was indeed he was the intended recipient. Indeed.
Okay. I don't believe it.
But that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies. You know, don't you?
I did formulate a hypothesis about that.
Okay.
But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Holmes? Looks deadly serious for once.
He does.
The telegram's been updated for us or added to the court record.
I was gonna say, I've never seen him... okay, he's fine now. But he was real serious for a second
there. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Well, he...
Unless I can...
Unlike you... He doesn't throw theories out there without evidence to back it up first.
That's half the fun, though. Come on, Sherlock. I wonder... Nah, he's probably not going to say anything. That's just the... Okay, I'll just go back to talking, so... Kazuma's death. Now about this one.
Yeah.
Need some answers on this one, buddy. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Buria, whatever it's supposed to be, it was all for nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead at all. But you! You were completely taken in by the lie you told us. Your great detective's lie. Yeah. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time...
Serious again.
All that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What?
Huh.
Capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan.
His remains, you mean?
Precisely, Miss Usuno. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead.
Oh my, you mean...
The arrangement between our 2 countries was already in place. 1 university student lawyer and 1 judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Asogi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on the shores for several years at least. Wait, do you mean to say that it was all in aid of stopping Kazuma coming to Britain? That's why you...
Huh.
Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue the voyage to England?
Yeah. That's true.
The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. In the light of Mr. Sogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely.
But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Holmes. We know of no other lawyer.
I'm right here.
Not yet.
It's me. Marjolaine still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. So, you manipulated me? I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe it.
Sherlock is smart man. Treated by the authorities as murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her?
Yeah, can we answer that one? That's been a long question.
Yeah.
Naturally didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. As I explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought.
Oh.
I seem to remember Miss Susanoo and I had some rather strong words for her.
Yeah.
Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. I wonder if she made it to America then.
That's where she was going, I think.
Yeah. Still the question is, but why would you essentially fake his death and send him back to Japan unless you, like, was him going to Britain going to become an issue for his, like, safety?
Maybe.
But then he was safe, he already got here anyways.
Let's just keep going. I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Holmes? Why are you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain?
Oh boy. Well, the truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see.
Oh.
An omen that, at this very moment in time, is close at hand. Huh? An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand? We need to find out exactly what Mr. Holmes knows.
How?
Huh. So, maybe I will present the telegram to see what he knows about that first.
Okay, yeah.
There was no room for doubt with your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Holmes. You were very clear that it was Judge Shikoku's office that should be searched. So, you obviously knew that's where the list of names would be found.
K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson.
But we only learned these 4 names just over 6 months ago now. Only because they appeared as part of the top secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan around 6 months before that. Approximately this time last year, in fact, when you both were still in Japan.
Oh.
What? Really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communication between the British and Japanese governments.
What?
You're perpetually doing what? What? How? Never mind the details, but you should know.
Huh?
No secret is safe from Sherlock Holmes. When he has designs of when he has designs on knowing it.
You're more dangerous than I thought you were. Mr. Holmes, what a fabulous line.
Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to the recipients Jigoku in Japan.
Just when I thought I couldn't simp for you more, sir. You go and pull something like this.
Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learned of the incident, now thus rapidly struck by... Okay, so that was a hit list. That was my guess.
I
think I stopped myself before I said it because I didn't have anything to base it on. But that was definitely, if that's the case of how it went through.
You say that because that's like that's how Sherlock does the things. You're like, that's no fun, Sherlock. you can't wait till you don't have anything to base it on to throw a theory out there.
Well, my brain was in the wrong time span because I was thinking that message went through and we got it when we were in Britain, and I was like, oh, but Asashin was already dead, so how would that make sense? But now that he said it happened beforehand, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because in my frame of mind, I was like, but the list was, well, afterwards. But if that was before even John was murdered.
Okay, focus,
Anyways.
go.
Actually, mine. As it turns out, I was partly correct and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow.
Mr. Holmes, please. Tell us all you know. Tell us about these 4 names and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected.
Wait.
What?
I have a theory here, and it's gonna sound bad. It's not necessarily a hit list for all 4 of them. Because I have to remember that Asashin was murdered randomly by fucking Mame Momi,
Yeah.
Testamomi, whatever he is. I think
Testimony? It was Mame Momi, but like, Many Memo was
that's
the
the
new
new
one.
one. But I think this is read vertically. Assassin, target. Asashin was sent to murder John Wilson. Asogi was sent to murder Gregson. That's why he had to go to Britain, because his goal was to go there and murder Tobias Gregson.
That would explain why Sherlock would stop Kazuma from coming to Britain to kill his friend.
Yeah. To be fair, he might have thought at first that it was also. It could have also been he thought at first that it was entirely a hit list, but now he's like, because he
Yeah.
said that his theory was right but wrong at the same time. So the theory probably is that he's like, I thought it was a hit list. Correction, half a hit list
Yeah.
at this point. It could be read vertically of assassins, targets.
Which is probably why when he overheard us when we were talking about, you know, Wilson being dead and that, you know, Giselle Brett, aka Shin Lady, was one that he was like, her, of course. Remember, he was like
Yeah.
behind us. That's why he was.
Anyways,
That's probably how I made that
I
connection.
think you read this one? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay, I guess I'll go to the 4 names. As I said, when I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names. Because you see, there was someone else on the list who I believed to be recently deceased. What? Who? Ashin.
Asian.
Asian. I keep doing it because I want to say her name.
No.
Asian, as was transcribed in Japanese script. In actual fact, Miss Asashin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. Oh, I see. But she completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. And accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list.
Ah, Kei Asogi and T. Gregson.
Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself. But I determined it would be safest if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead.
Oh.
Exactly.
So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Holmes? We had it wrong.
Oh, yes. Holmes. Well, I said that's his original thought on it.
Yeah.
But we know that she wasn't assassinated.
Yeah,
she
no.
was just by happenstance murdered, pretty much. So that's why that theory can't take
I'm saying that the fact that he kept Asogi away from
at the
Britain
time.
isn't what...
Yeah, at the time it was just him trying to
Yee.
protect. I guess Holmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I've recounted many tales about Asogi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. She probably thinks that's her dad still.
So, Dr. Wilson is dead then?
Oh wait.
I didn't know!
Oh, Iris. Ah.
I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad.
I thought he was.
I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you. No.
But what you just told us, Mr. Holmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. there's one big hole in your hypothesis.
A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo?
Ah, yes. You mean about Asashin, I presume?
Oh, of course.
Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student under the assumed name of Giselle Brett. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow, but I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel.
Yep. Ah!
And upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that formed surrounding those 4 names, we completely turned topsy. What? Topsy? Turvy? Okay, this is where it comes in. What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Holmes? I believed all 4 names on the list were names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so, Asashin was a killer! So this telegram was a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed, and it would seem that Miss Shin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front. Oh, wait. Okay.
What?
So my brain for their first second was like, so why would they send these 2 across the ocean to kill 2 different people? Then I realized, you know, you go to court and it's like, oh wait, we got to send them back to their home country for them to be tried there.
Yeah.
Like if Asogi was caught for it, he'd just be sent back and then be welcomed back to Japan. They'd just be like, nah, he's fine. It was a way to try and protect both of them from their, from you know, if they were caught for murder, it'll protect them by being separate and go sent back to the other countries. They sent Giselle, they sent Giselle to Japan and Asogi to Britain because the goal was to protect them because of extraterritorial rights.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's my thought. And I wonder if, could that play into the past maybe as well with what was going on with Genshin Asogi?
I don't know. We won't know until we keep playing the game. Stop pausing every 2 minutes.
Sorry. Theories are fun.
Well, just fucking play the game. Which would, of course, explain why no motive could be determined for her actions.
So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Asashin is because he was the target of an assassination.
Shin. It's Shin.
I can never say it right, man. It's my fault. Listen. Informed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective. What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you as another among the 4 who subsequently became a visiting student? Wait, you mean? But of course, a name you know only too well. You mean Kazuma?
Oh!
He did
There's
say
his
in
theme.
court earlier today. Yes, on 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. I mean, he could have literally said that, just I didn't lie in court.
Like this is Asogi's new theme now.
Yeah. Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now.
Being a prosecutor and all. Surely not.
In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts.
He did keep saying there was something he must do in Britain.
Yes, because that was the whole point, is that was his point. He's going to go over there to murder Gregson. And here's what ties it together of why he's so passionate on the prosecutor's bench. He went to Britain to murder Tobias Gregson because he probably already was informed on the fact that Tobias Gregson was part of the Reaper with Van Zieks.
Yeah.
And that would help him get revenge on his father as well for the people that put him under, essentially. So it could have been inspiration for him to accept that mission.
Except Van Zieks has nothing to do with the Reaper.
No, but that's what he was told in the first place, possibly. I could be jumping to that conclusion, which it wouldn't be surprised, but it could be.
In conclusion.
Because, I mean, that would help make sense to make Kazuma not be just a horrible person, not make him, you know, the antagonist of sorts, by giving him a reason to go over there. But, let's see. International agreement, one might say. Detailing an assassin exchange. An assassin exchange? How could Kazuma possibly have got involved in something like that? Well, let's talk about it.
Because he knows how to use a sword.
Let's assume that we have two parties, each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those two parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would then be an assassin exchange.
So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange.
That it is. But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Naruhodo, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction.
Yep.
Thanks to the diplomatic immunity afforded by consular jurisdiction.
That's the word.
Oh, yes. Such jurisdiction should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our two countries. So the fact that it was brought into place suggests intervention at the very highest levels. The highest levels?
Looking at you,
Like Strongheart levels?
Yep.
These murders were two sides of the same coin, like not by common motive, but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated. Yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular devilish scheme. That disassociation, and in the safeguard of diplomatic immunity, were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Holmes!
That was intense.
If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean the Japanese killer target was never Seshiro Jigoku at all.
Yeah.
It would mean Asogi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Cosmo here's for Gregson? The Judge Goku wasn't actually the mark?
Yes, it's exactly what it would mean. Oof.
Oh my.
Oh, music's gone now.
I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe. That's why he freaked out so much too, probably. He was like, I did everything I could, and in the end,
And
still
happened.
I couldn't protect him.
Mr. Holmes.
Like, he knew he was a target
Yeah.
for a year, and he couldn't do it. I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. That's why he was going to go to France. Obviously with the young pickpocket in tow.
With Gina, yeah.
Yes, Gina. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that to us at the Great Exhibition.
He did.
That he'd be transferring to the Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in.
Oh boy. You know when Sherlock gets serious, things are serious. Oh, hi. All right, everyone. That's quite enough of all that serious talk for one day. I was just... Isn't it, Holmesy? I mean, look at the time.
Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? What?
Yeah, what preparations?
Well, I think I shall make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember.
It is a little bit sad, though.
Huh?
I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Aw. Because then Susie would have been my big sister.
Oh. Sorry, Iris.
Mikotoba, adopt her right now.
I was just gonna say, he can adopt you?
Yeah. I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing.
Oh, you two are cute.
Were you? But if somebody like me would be worthy, I would be delighted to become your sister. What? Really? Oh yes, without question. So, you'll teach me all the ways you know to throw Ryo to the floor? Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure.
I didn't agree to this. You didn't have to agree quite so readily.
Oh, but wait a minute. Susie's going to be my big sister. You could be my big brother if you want, Ryu.
Huh? I mean, yeah, of course. If you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Well done, Iris. I must always be mindful of feelings. I've raised you so well.
He's like, Mr. Naruhodo, you are now my son.
Because being sensitive is your strong suit naturally.
Sherlock now has 3 kids, canon. Right, I'm going to work extra hard for tomorrow now, because it's for my big brother and sister. Oh.
What is all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing what?
Hee. You'll just have to wait and see.
It's my trial.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have a surprise. I would like the defense to be prepared. Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance. I'll do my very best, of course, but what the hell are you planning for me?
Yeah.
It's my trial. I'm in charge of the defense here. No surprises.
I already had enough surprises with the rabbit.
So the other night, breaking the trial's proceedings became a crucial turning point. Exposing new truths while posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Jigoku's office. An extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. Felt as though I had been plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden. But at the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again soon.
Aw. Family.
Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfast behind me.
Aw. Group hug!
That was adorable.
Group hug!
To be continued? Ah, yes. And it will be a to be continued next time.
Really? It actually lined up with when this
Man.
never happens.
I wasn't one line before it. I wasn't one line after it. We got it right.
This never
on
happens.
Point.
Oh my
Beautiful.
god. Yes. Yes.
For once.